Booyah! What up, you guys? Welcome back to another one of these lessons. Today, I want to share with you a way to warm up your wrists, so your wrist and your hands. And this is something that I actually use every single day. Well, like every day before I'm juggling. So pretty much almost every day. Okay. Uh, I do use more techniques as well, and I want to share some of them with you as well. But mostly we're gonna focus on the wrists now. But what I use depends how much I need it and what kind of warm-ups do I need. So if I'm very tight and it's cold outside or something like this, I really need to warm up more. But if I feel really good, nothing is tense here, everything is fine, it's warm outside, like I'm really warm and good to go, I'm gonna use less. But I still do this every single time, at least a little bit. I do them sort of like to test how ready I am for juggling and how warm up I am, and then if it's fine, if I don't need them, I won't use them. But I still at least try. Okay, so let me go. I'm going to show you a few things that I do as well. I'm going to show them to you, and then I'm going to show you what I actually use on my wrists. So a few things that I do, like everything that I start, and this also depends if I'm in the training hall that I'm start doing this, or if I'm on the way, I can do different things, and I'm going to show you. But if I'm there in the training hall, this is how I start. I start by swinging my arms. Like this is the first thing. And depending on how I go one way, and then the other hand, what's so far, but then I spin the other hand this way as well, and I do around 8 to 12 times around. It depends. When I start to feel in my fingers that the blood is rushing there, then I know, okay, it's starting to open up. Then I do the other arm, and then I go the other arm the other way, like this, and I do about 8 to 12, and then I do the other arm. Once they're good, I let them be for a while, just shake them a little bit, and then I spin the both. I spin the both the other way, around 8 to 12 times again, both ways. And then if you want, you can do this different directional things, but it's more for fun. Like that's enough for me. I go twice to both sides, and that's enough. So first, just once you go here, and then the other one hand, and then the other direction, and the other direction, and then you shake it off a little bit for like 10 seconds, then spin this way 8 to 12 times, and then the other way 8 to 12 times. Okay? And then I do this. I go back and forth, and then I start to slap myself here. I do this, and then I keep my hands straight. And the way that I do, every time I go back, I squeeze my shoulder blades. So I squeeze my shoulder blades like that as well. So I'm from here, you squeeze. So every time you go back, you squeeze those back as well. And every time that I go front, I try to not to let go from my shoulders like that. So I try to keep my shoulders back here. So when I do go front, it actually stretches a little bit from here. And if I slap them like this, then that's fine. But if I keep them straight, I really try to focus that my shoulders stay here. And then I go like that. And then you can start to do as well when you go here, that you keep, what is this? Elbow. So you keep the elbow up, but you turn these down. So that stretches your arms as well, so when you go back. And then you can here, spread out your fingers like this to get even more, and then you can lift up. And you can swing here. And now you really feel this nerve stretch while you're doing that. So you can do this as well, so you get this warming up stretching at the same time. And that is actually something that I do before I warm up my wrists. Okay, and then when it comes to the wrist, this is the biggest thing that I do. And this is like, I can't believe that nobody's teaching this. Like, I had to figure this out by myself. And I really hope that somebody's teaching that, and that's why I want to share this with you now. Because this has saved my ass so many times. Or my hands. Okay, so what you do is this. You put your hand in a fist. Okay, this looks funny, but trust me, it does good. So what you do, you squeeze this arm, you squeeze it in the fist, so you warm up, you use these muscles, you tense up the muscles, so you squeeze, and then with this hand, you're gonna squeeze as well. And then what you're gonna do, You're gonna squeeze the fist and then spin around like that. You just spin around it, every direction. And with the left hand, you squeeze and you're gonna slide down. And this is why it looks so funny. So you squeeze. So right hand, squeeze the fist and you turn, you spin. So you warm up because you're squeezing, you're using these muscles. With the left hand, you squeeze around your wrist, around here, and then you pull down. Okay? And you do them both together. And this is it. Like, this is the best way that I found for my wrists. And the other one as well. So here, remember, you squeeze, and then you squeeze this, and pull down. Sometimes you can change, hold it here, hold it here, hold it here. You can change a little bit there. And I try to start like as high as I can. Okay, so I only have like my pinkies here, and then I go down and all the way here. And this, what it does, it warms up your muscles. You're squeezing everything, it warms up those. It also massages them, but it also releases the fascia around all these muscles and the ligaments and everything. So it does so much in so little time. So just by doing this a few times, you can find tight spots. Like I have tightness around here a lot. And I get that. And after this, your wrists feel like really loose. You can do this. Like I cannot do this before I do that. So after this is fine. I can really shake them around and they feel good. And think about it, I've been juggling for over 20 years now and my wrists are not in a pain. I don't have any injuries. And one of the reasons is because I do this kind of stuff all the time, every day. And I really think that this is super helpful. But yeah, that is the biggest thing that I do with my wrist. And after this, it's stretching. There are a few other warm-ups that you can do. One of them is this, that you can warm up these muscles. You put your fists together like this, and then you're just gonna give a little pressure, push them a little bit against each other. Then you're gonna go forward like that. So just pull them here while keeping the knuckles together. So you keep them together like this, you pull forward. So basically, you're stretching like this. So when you pull forward, you will get that stretch here. So you just push and back, push and back. So it's just pumping action. So this will warm up here. And you can, if you squeeze your fists, you get a little more muscle work. Okay, like that. And then you can do the same with this way. Now, if you can push here, you're kind of sort of like warming up your chest, but we want more the arms and the wrists. So we're gonna push like that. And this is something that you can do like with one arm, you can do this pumping, but you can do this together as well. So you push, now you just try to push only with fingers, then you bring slowly back, push only with fingers, then you bring slowly back, like that. And here you can do the same pumping, this kind of thing, but you go a little bit more down. Just try to bring more down. Try to keep the arms together. They open up a little bit at the bottom, and that's when I know it's enough. And these I don't use so much. Like for me, this is the biggest thing. And every time I do something like that, I continue it with this. Just a little bit like that. And then the stretches that you can do, you go up here, and every time you do these arm stretches, remember to keep your shoulder down and back and your elbow pointing up. So when you do this, turn your arm, you don't turn your elbow and your shoulder like that. You don't want to stretch this. You want to keep your shoulder down and back, turn your elbow like this. And then you stretch your arm here. And this is something I usually hold 10 to 15 seconds. Okay? And after that 10 to 15 seconds, so I stretch here, I put all my fingers on my palm, and I stretch, and I keep my shoulder down and back, elbow is pointing down, and after about 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how tight it is, if it's not tight at all, I don't keep it. And then I do that. Okay? So I bring slowly my elbow closer to my body, and then I'm gonna find new places that can stretch because it changes a little bit. First it's more here and then it transfers where you feel the stretch. So I keep it there about 10 to 15 seconds as well if I need it. Okay, I don't want to do longer holds before my training. If you want to do longer, do them after. Before, it's good to do the shorter ones. You want to open up your muscles, you want to warm them up, you want to open them so you can use them better. But you don't want to do long muscles because, long stretches, because they will also tear down the tissue a little bit. So you want to keep it short. And then you would do the same on the other hand. If you do want to do more, like more warming up thing, then just do these pumping stretches. Just go, roll, release, hold, release, hold, release. So this is pumping action. You can do it here as well. Remember, not to give too much pressure, but just a little bit. These pumping stretches are also very good to warming up as well. But I do this, transfer it here, in the other hand. Then I can do this way. Here is the same. You keep your shoulder down and back. Try to keep the elbow as down as possible. With your arm this way, you're going to give a little pressure to yourself, like towards yourself, and then also lift it to the pinky side, to yourself, and turn it to the pinky without turning from here. Only the arm. So you keep this here still. So a little bit towards yourself, lift the pinky up a little bit. So you can see like this, towards myself, and a little bit turning that way. And I keep it here about 10 to 15 seconds, and then I bring back. These are the things that I do if I'm walking. Like if I want to start my training earlier. So when I'm walking to the gym, I can do this. I can do all these stretches. And then the balls on this side as well. And then I would do also this way. So with the fingers up, and with the fingers down. And now we're going to do palm up, fingers down. So these three. And here again, you want to keep the shoulder. It's down and back, so it's not here, it's there, and the elbow pointing down again. And here you stretch. You're just holding the fingers, so half of your palm is hiding there, holding it back. And then after about 10 to 15 seconds, you go bring your elbow closer until you feel another place where you stretch. You keep it there about 10 to 15 seconds. And after that, again, I do this. And then I stretch the other one and do that again. And then I'm ready to go. Okay, so that is my wrist warm-up and also a little bit more about your arm and shoulders and everything. Now, normally for me, depending on how tight I am, I usually stretch my whole arm and chest as well. Like you go against some wall or something, and you do this kind of stretch, or you stretch to open up your chest. Or you can go against the wall, you can lean there and press your shoulders back to open up your chest. And for me, my sides get really, really tight. So I need to open them as well usually. I don't have to, but I've noticed that if I do stretch, like I have some pole or some edge or something, I just pull on it and just find places to stretch here. If I do that, everything seems to work much better. Like, I don't know why. I know that everything starts from the core, like when you throw, all actions with your arms and everything starts from here. So I guess also having these super tight can have an effect on that. So every body throw and everything that I do, back crosses, like everything, pirouettes, 360s, they just work much better if I'm not tight from here. So that's why I always stretch them if they're really tight. But other than that, and some neck stretches as well if I have to. If they're very tight, so I warmed up. I do like this kind of stuff. Pull, down, down, down. So this is like the pumping thing that I showed you with the arm. This is what I do with the necks as well. Like I go until I feel a stretch, and that's it. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And when you do this, try to keep your chin here, so you're not like that. So you keep your chin here. You really tuck in your chin and you do them from here, because then you're warming up the correct muscles as well. So I do side by side, and then I tilt my head back a little, and I go side by side. So it's more on the front, and then I tilt my head forward. I still try to tuck in the chin, and I do again, side by side, from side to side. And then I look here, and look there. And every time you do this, you tuck in your chin, and then I look as far away until I can feel I'm at the end, and just keep it there just for a beat. Like here, it's less than a second, but you hold it just for a beat. So that is all the warm-up that I do, all the stretching and everything that I actually use every single time. And this is something that I do when I go performing. Hopefully I can do a training session earlier that day, and in the evening I'm much more prepared, so I don't have to warm up my juggling so much. But I still warm up my body like this. This is the way that I do it. This is exactly this is exactly what I do, what I use. So yeah, but this is the biggest thing. This fist warming up thing. I know, again, it looks really funny, but it's really good. Like, it's unbelievable how good it is. Last year I was touring a lot, and I did a lot of shows, and I did like some power juggling shows as well, like some strongman juggling as well. And these moves, like this warm-up thing, really saved my arms with like having injuries. So yeah, I really strongly recommend that you try them. Cool, that's it. That's the wrist warming wrist warm-up thing that I wanted to share you, plus some extra stuff. Cool, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Boom.